might do something else. So anyway, I've started the recording as well. Welcome. Let's give it a couple of minutes and see if other people want to join in. And apologize for all the problems, but GoToWebinar, this new release is like that Microsoft, I don't know which one that was, probably I think Vista or something. It's just totally buggy, and so I'm expecting that they would come back with a update. Now, I want to first take the opportunity to thank you for coming, and also first, let's get a feel for the audio and video. You should be able to see my PowerPoint, and let me just take out the questions also into a new window. Okay, highlight. So if you can hear me okay and see the PowerPoint, give me a yes on the question box. That would be great. All right, so can you guys hear me? No? Okay, so something is still not working. All right, so if you can give me give me a yes if you can hear me. All right, so the microphone is on. Can you guys hear me? All right, let me put it in the chat window. Okay. So welcome to the webinar, guys. Hope you're having a good weekend. As you know, the earnings season is coming up, which is always quite exciting. And what we're going to talk about in this webinar is the with options there are multiple challenges all the time. It's not a simple game to be winning consistently. Okay, so that is the key. Why. The problem is you have to be consistent, and so when I say consistent, you're never going to be 100% consistent, but we're talking about 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, or better if we can. And so we're going to see how we can do this. So in general, if you see, depending on, of course, how much experience you have with options. But anyway, I'm just going to quickly this is me, Hari Swaminathan. I've lost some hair from that picture. But, I have a bachelor's in engineering and an MBA from Columbia in New York. So I've been trading options for about 10 years now, at least. And Option Tiger has been a company for about 4.5 years now. And even before Option Tiger, the main thing always was, how can see, because you're going to make mistakes, you're going to learn from your mistakes, hopefully, but you don't want those mistakes to cost you too much. But some of the common options challenges I find is, even if you're quite well experienced. So when I say quite well experienced, I'm talking like 2-3 years or more of options. Some of the more common experiences, at least from what I have seen in my own experience, is these are some of the challenges that you might face. You might face a few of them. You might face many of them, and you may have faced all of them too, because these are challenges that happen on an everyday basis when you go into the options market. So let's see if you can identify, and besides these, if you have faced any other kind of challenges, then feel free to drop a note, because the list is probably much longer than this. And but these are all the things that we always have to keep in mind when we are in the in the options market, because options are a leveraged instrument, right? So if it doesn't go your way, you will see your position deteriorate fairly quickly. And so you got to be on top of the game when it comes to options. Now, the key is, of course, position sizing. And, so as long as your position size is very, very comfortable to you, that's really the key to not losing too much money especially when you're still learning the game. But, these are some of the things that, that happens to everybody. So let's say I've just listed down a few things here. The position, you take a position and it starts to go against you just after you enter. It happens. So then what do you do? Because whatever premise you had for entering the trade may have changed. It can happen on an intraday basis. It can happen the next day. Whatever the situation is. So then you also might have seen that you've entered a trade. It's collected a nice profit, but then the next day it gives it all back. And I'm sure many people have experienced this. And then you're just like basically killing yourself by not taking that profitable trade. But again, it all comes down to how you make the decisions. What is, what do you consider when you make those decisions? And so those are the kinds of things that we're talking about. And if you've traded credit spreads or condors, you know that they work well 4 times, but then one time you don't do it properly, then you're giving it all back. Okay, so now let's assume that you've gotten into a position, going good or bad, you've made some adjustments to it, but then once you see the position, it's become too complicated. So in the sense that the risk graph is complicated, the position itself is too complicated, and you don't really have a good idea of what kind of a beast you're dealing with. It happens many times, right? And so then, of course, then you come to entries. Was it a high probability entry? Was there anything wrong in the premise of your trade? That also you have to consider. Then you're not totally clear on when to adjust. Okay, so you may not have time for the markets on a daily basis. So what are the things that you can do to sort of cover up for that deficiency? Because not everybody has time for the markets every day, and some people are, especially I know a couple of people are attending from the other part of the world, and so time is an issue. And so how do you deal with that situation? And also, even when you know that you have to adjust, do you have a ready-made set of techniques that you can go to? And this should happen sort of what do you call it should happen unconsciously. So basically, you have a tactic ready, and the right one comes to you immediately as you see the position go in a particular direction. Now, news items can always kill the trade, whether it's up or down. Good news, bad news, whatever it is, that can always kill a trade. And so, I'm sure it has happened to everybody. And so, that's something obviously we can't really control. However, I'm just saying these are all the issues that we face when we get into the options market. Now, of course, there's much more to this. I've not even gotten into the market maker issues and all of that. But if you just look at the points, not choosing the right trade for the market environment. And so, many people I've seen, especially if they're new, they take a call position, the call position is going very well, and now, the stock has gone up a lot. And so they think you have to take a put position now. It becomes a contrarian trade. And, it doesn't make any sense, but, that's what they do, and they give up some of the profit. Then, have you panicked? Have you sold everything? Sure, I think we all have, because sometimes the position just gets too complicated and you don't want to deal with it anymore. And so what you do is, and when it comes to that, that stage when you don't know, you don't understand what the position is anymore, you probably will end up panicking. You probably will end up selling. And of course, you sell at the wrong time, and therefore, basically you're going to book a loss. Then do you always second guess? Have you rolled your position once, to maybe the next expiry, maybe twice, but still end up with a loss? At any given time, are you clear with all the possibilities that exist? Because you cannot, of course, protect yourself against every possibility, but at least the ones that are, that are probable, you've got to think about them. And so if that happens, then are you clear with it? Did fear or greed play a role? I think it, it's human. These are human emotional factors that always play a role in everybody's trading. And then finally, do you wish you had someone to show you the right way to do these things? If when I was learning, if I had something like what I'm going to show you about Trader Max, that would be the ultimate program, because really, options take a long time to really master. And if you do it on your own, maybe 1 to 2 years, yeah, that's a normal time frame. But along the way, you're going to experiment a lot, and you're going to probably have losses. I can tell you that's how I learned, because there's no other way. And I learned back in like 2006 or so. So at that time, there were really no products like this where you could learn everything and put it on paper money and try it out and stuff like that. So of course we have all those tools now, and but I wish there was someone that I could see during the market, 2 or 3 hours a day. If you can watch over their shoulder, that's really the critical thing that can leapfrog your learning curve from, basically in this, I'm going to talk about the program, but here's what it is. It's Trader Max. So it's the ultimate options mentoring program. So with, live examples, application of the best techniques, we're going to take all kinds of trades. Nothing will start, complicated. We'll always start simple, but many positions will get complicated. Many positions will get into trouble, and we have to deal with all of those things. And so these are the real, if you look at the options game, basically, you look at it as a roadmap. One is the first thing is you need to know the options knowledge. So here we are talking like hard skills. This is like the Greeks, time decay, spreads, how they work, etc. Then you're dealing with a combination of hard skills and soft skills in the second component. You're dealing with judgments. You're dealing with market sentiment. You're dealing with technical analysis skills and tools, and all of that. So that's the second bucket. But if you ask me, what is the most important? It's the third bucket, which is entirely soft skills. So here is where you have to have control over yourself and the decision making for adjustments. How much do you adjust? When do you adjust? What do you look at before you adjust? Is it making sense? So these are the kinds of decisions that really make or break your trade. And so if you can get the third, because see, the hard skills you can pick up, right? I mean, anybody can pick up because it's knowledge. The second bucket, yeah, a little bit, most of it you can pick up, technical analysis and things like that. But market sentiment and stock judgment and all of that, you still, there's still a little bit of subjective material there. But the third one is completely subjective. So even though you might know the options game very well, you might know technical analysis, you might know everything, the problem is when you go to apply them, the internal battle within yourself comes into play. And so these soft skills are critical. So Trader Max basically tries to solve this soft skills problem. So we are talking about the entire third bucket and half of the second bucket also. So Trader Max is the ultimate live trading. So here, of course we bring together everything we've learned so far. So we're talking about the advanced max systems, the weekly max, condor max, and all of that. How do you approach adjustment? When do you adjust? How much do you adjust? Position sizing, trade approaches, entries, and always, when there is a complex situation, there is always one or two simple ways to break it down, and we have to break it down. So that's really how you develop that skill. Then of course it's self-control, decision-making skills, technical analysis, comes into play. So it's a 4-week watch over your shoulder program. So it's basically going to be a webinar format, just like this. Hopefully it will not have any more technical issues. And of course, it will be recorded every day. We'll start at 9:20 a.m. By the way, all these are Eastern times. I should have put that. Okay, so all of these are Eastern times. So we'll start a few minutes before the market opens, say 9:20, 9:15, something like that. And the morning session, you'll notice that the first couple of hours always action-packed because all the overnight news and everything has to be absorbed by the market. And then traders also go for lunch. So from 12 noon till about 2 o'clock, people are out, and markets are generally pretty lazy at that time, unless of course there is a specific news event like FOMC or something like that. But other than that, generally that is lunchtime, and it slows down. And so we'll take a break also, because it's hard to go all day, and there's no point in going all day, because the way we want to trade is that it's just not day trading. Although we might take some day trades, sure, of course, but the trading style actually, that is actually my next slide. The trading style, we always start simple. Okay, we'll start with long calls, long puts, debit spreads, or credit spreads, and you'll see these positions will morph into something else, because as you adjust once, as you adjust twice, of course you can't keep adjusting and going on, but if you want to adjust, the positions can get pretty complex. So what we'll do is we'll see how to take these decisions and how you manage the trade. So these are all very sophisticated trade management techniques. It's hard to capture that kind of a live scenario in a course or a video. Of course you can capture it in a video, but when you're doing the real thing, it's very, and if you're there, if you're watching it, that's great. So even if you watch it like 1 week later, it may not make sense, because that market environment is not at the top of your mind, and so you really don't know what is going on in terms of the market. So there is obviously a certain role that video courses and all play, but then this live aspect is what really the key to it, because I think if this 4-week program really will leapfrog your learning curve by at least 6 to 12 months. So you're talking about jumping ahead in the options game by that much. If now granted, you don't have to attend every day, you don't have to attend every minute, all of that. So I'll talk about that as well. So generally, because it's a 4-week program, I like to keep it to a weekly trading cycle. So which means, what I mean by that is, if we open a trade, we generally open it thinking that we might hold on to it for about a week. Okay. Now that may be too short, but the course itself, I mean the program itself is 4 weeks. So I don't want to take a position that's going to take 2 months to play out, because it doesn't make sense. We're not going to learn anything. So generally, it will be looked at from a weekly trading cycle. Overall, we're going to see about 5 to 6 trades a week, 20 to 25 in the overall. I think many of you may have seen the recordings from April. I don't know if you have that product or not. It's really cool, because we had, I think, 24 trades, and 23 of them were winners. Now, it doesn't mean that they were all winners to start with. Absolutely not. So there's plenty of opportunities for trades to go bad, and trades will go bad, but can you bring it back to break even, maybe even a small profit? That's really the game, because you're going to have your winners, and if you can take care of the others, maybe 3 or 4 out of 10, and recover at least 2 of them, either a break even, or even a small profit. That's really the game in options. I can tell you, because you're never going to get 10 out of 10, and the general skill is you have to bring your losers to at least a break even. I mean, that's really the key to being a consistent and consistently successful in the options game. And so the whole focus is going to be on the emotions, the adjustments, the decision making, and all of that. So we did this in April, and I think about at least 8 out of those 24 trades 1/3 went bad. I can tell you at least 1/3 went bad. But in the end, we ended up with only one of them being a loser. I think it was a fairly big loser, but still, overall we made I think 30% that month, 30% return ROI. So, that's the kind of stuff that we'll be looking at in this program. Let me just quickly talk about the webinar format as well. So obviously everything will be live, adjustments, it'll all be recorded, and generally the recording will be because you're not going to record every minute, because if there's nothing going on, there's no point in recording it. So the daily recording will be uploaded by about 7 p.m. I should write that. p.m. latest, right? Sometimes these videos take a little time to render itself, and once again dependent on GoToWebinar for that. So it might take a couple of hours sometimes. So recordings, but it usually will be definitely done by 8 p.m. And so I'll be those videos will be uploaded. If you can take some mornings off, or maybe 1 week off from your from your work schedule, I think it'll be great, especially because you want to have at least a feel for a few of the live sessions, especially in the beginning. And then if you're later on, if you just need to catch up with the recordings for many days, that's fine. But I would highly recommend that you try to take at least the mornings off. Mornings meaning Eastern time, so you'll have to adjust it based on where you are, in which time zone you are. So this would be obviously a follow only. So because I want you guys to get into my mind, what am I looking at? What am I talking about? So that's really the core, the key to success with this program. I'm not going to hold anything back. So whatever I'm speaking, whatever I'm seeing, everything is what is what you'll be seeing, is what you'll be looking at. And so I'll be explaining everything. So the daily recording will be about 2 or 3 hours long, and maybe you can fast forward some of that, but that's fine. Now, when I say follow only, you can take these trades if you want in your paper money account, real money. I can't tell you that, because I will not be able to support your adjustments. Okay, so remember, I will be dealing with what I have to deal with, and if you do take a trade, take it on paper money, and if you're following the trade, you take it on paper money, and that's the best, because I won't be able to support your trade adjustments. Now, obviously, you're going to have questions all through, and that's fine. You can type in your questions. When I get a few minutes of quiet time, I'll address those questions. But adjustments wise, I do not want you to follow. The key is, the essence of this program is you want to get into my mind. So rather than deal with your trading environment, you want to get into my mind, look at what I'm looking, how I make those decisions, and what are the adjustment types, what are the different options, why pick this one over that one, that kind of stuff is really what is the core essence of this program. Okay, so as you can see, this is a pretty intense program. It's not, it's a lot of work for me. I have to hire a couple of people for doing all this video stuff as well and all of that. So generally, it's okay. Now we are going to start on October 17th. Okay, so October 17th is when earnings also starts. So remember, earnings can be very, very attractive, but you don't want to obviously trade every earnings trade, but you want to look at the stocks. And so what I recommend is, many of you I think already have some of these, and that's fine. These are basically, it'll be $16.99 if you just go for the 4-week program. And if you want to pick up another one of these max or 2 of these maxes, these are the prices. But I'm giving a really cool special deal on this webinar. So and this, I'm sorry, it's just valid for 3 days, okay? Because I need to, and of course, I forgot to mention, I generally try not to have more than 25 people on this program every time. I run this program about 2 times a year. I try to make it overlap with an earnings period. And so that's exactly what we are doing now. And so here what I'm going to do is the difference between this and this is, you can see I'm adding a max to everything, first of all. Okay, so 1699 generally, on the previous slide, if you see, if you want to take a screenshot of these two, these two slides, that, that's fine. But basically, I'm adding that. Now, also, I'm going to give, if you take action by 9/29, which is, 3 days from now, if you take action by then, I'm also going to give the April recordings for free. So that's $999 right there, okay? So value, that is, okay? So, and plus I'm throwing in an extra max system. So basically, then, and these maxes are, these are the very advanced systems. So you're talking about weekly max, earnings max, condor max, and adjust max. And so each of them generally is like about 697. And so, you're already getting your full values worth by going in for these, these programs. Now, also, if you wanted to get in by 9/29, that's in the next 3 days, you'll get these freebies. Okay, so basically, you're getting much more than what you're going to be. But more importantly, I want you to think about this. You can experiment, you can make, your own sort of learning, like how I did. But I can tell you, it's expensive. Making mistakes is very expensive. And one trade can cost you all this money. $24.99. Yeah, it can go in one trade. So I think you have to look at it from that point. And the fact, I can tell you that this will like sort of leapfrog your your learning curve by, at a very minimum, is 6 months, perhaps even more than that. I think it's it's good. It's a lot of work for me also, and so as you can imagine, I'll be on audio and video for 3-4 hours a day, and then we have to render it and put it up and all of that. So it's a lot of work, and so it's it's not a cheap program, but I'm telling you, the value that you get out of it will be unquestionable. Okay, so that's really all I had. I wanted you guys to know that this program is starting on October 17th. So there is material that you have to go through before. So if you wanted to get in, I think by September 29th, you can take advantage of the deal, as well as you will need some time to to go through this. So a couple of weeks is all you need. It's not very extensive, but you will still need a little bit of time to go through this stuff and be ready for October 17th. So I was thinking about the starting date. I think 17th works well because the earnings season just would have kicked off at that time. All right, so let me throw it up for questions. If anybody has questions here, let's take a look at that. All right, let's see here. Good to see. Hey, Anna, how are you? Thought you have transitioned to the fund expert and would not see back in the options education. No. That's I'm basically an educator, Anna, and that is something that I will always be doing. All right, so no, definitely there. In fact, the website is going to go through some changes, and the focus on the education and the videos and everything is actually going to increase now from here onwards. Yes, anybody? Yeah, okay. Aside from, what are some of the other books? Books, I don't recommend any books, Eli, because books don't give you the practical, practical aspect of it. There's nothing more to it. Swing trading is a very simple thing. Okay, so you can do swing trading with 2 or 3 indicators. You can do swing trading with 25 indicators. So it's not that one is the is the Bible. No way. Many people will have many different approaches to swing trading, to day trading, and all of that, because these are all technical pattern based approaches. And there are so many indicators available today, and each one what are some of the other sources you recommend for swing trading? Interesting. Okay, let me think about that. It doesn't come to me immediately, but what do you call? I will get back to you on email on that. All right, Jeremiah, are we able to use your day trading signals for? You can of course use it for ES. Now, Forex. Are you talking about spot Forex, or are you talking about the ETFs, the Forex ETFs? If you're looking at the Forex ETFs, that's fine. Spot Forex is a little bit more complicated. Yeah, currency is a little bit more complicated, okay? So Forex is, it dances to many, many tunes. It's a global, geopolitical, trade-related issues, economy-related issues, interest rate-related. I mean, currency is just too complicated. So I don't deal with currency at all, to tell you the truth. I don't deal with Forex. And, especially because the leverage is so high, it's 50 to 1 or 100 to 1. And small moves against you can hurt you a lot. See, options is good because, options also have leverage, of course. But, the leverage is more like 4:1, 5:1. Futures is more like 10:1, or options may be, a little bit more than that. Futures may be a little bit more than that. There's no exact number. But Forex is 50 to 1 and 100 to 1. I mean, that is unbelievable. Just think, if you had, you start out with $1,000 in an account, you can basically trade Forex for 50,000 or 100,000. But what happens if it goes against you? Your equity is only 1,000. So it's just like the housing market, by the way. Your equity is just a very, very small percentage of the overall portfolio. And so I don't like Forex. And plus Forex, there's just too many factors that impact Forex. And there are multiple brokers, multiple time zones. There's all kinds of complications there. But by all means, if you want to learn about Forex and everything, please feel free to go ahead. I'm just giving you my personal opinion that the amount of leverage that is used in Forex is absolutely crazy. So, take very, very small trades if you're taking in the Forex market. And Forex is all technical trading, okay? So you will see that, they have very specific rules and this and that if you want to trade Forex. It's a different beast altogether, okay? Yeah, everything, all the, adjustments and everything that we make will be recorded, okay? So I will have audio commentary as well. And video, obviously, you'll be seeing the screen and looking at what we are looking at. And also, we'll be, doing the technical analysis. Because, technical analysis is important. For any given trade, you have to look at the charts. So even if you're dealing with a 3-month trade or a 6-month trade, you still have to look at the charts. And so technical analysis is a key thing. Yeah. How can you know if a stock currently has high IV or not? You can go to ivolatility.com. I trade like 8 or 10 stocks, that's it, okay? So it's the Google, it's the Apple, Netflix, Amazon, and I already know their DNA. So, I know what the normal volatility is. I know what the high volatility or low volatility is. And so that is something that, once again, it's my opinion. If you trade stocks that you know very well, then you don't have to worry about things like that. Whether a stock currently has high IV or low IV, because you know it. You know when it's high, you know when it's low. But you can look at historical volatility, okay? So you can do a 6-month chart on historical volatility. So if you're using Think or Swim, there's a study that's called historical volatility. You can use that. All right, make any other Mac systems? Yes, Jeremiah, I'm thinking of 2 or 3 systems, I think. The covered calls, then there was one other, well, the calendars and diagonals is actually part of TraderMax. So I forgot to tell you guys that. TraderMax contains a unique Max product inside, okay? So what you get for $6.99 already has a Max product, which is different from all of these things, okay? So you're going to learn an intense version of how to deal with how to trade calendars and the diagonals. Okay, so double calendars, diagonals, and double diagonals. So it's all there. That is all there inside Trader Max. So it's a very cool product actually, and it's a very underappreciated trade, which is what I like about the calendars and diagonals. Very underappreciated. It's a fairly lower risk and much higher reward kind of a trade, and you're also it's a time decay trade. It's a positive Vega trade. It's got a lot of plus points to it, and so I actually like that whole calendar diagonal setup. Futures, there's really nothing to futures, you know. I mean, it's like trading stock, right? I mean, what is there? Either you're going to take up or down, and that depends on technical analysis. So, you know, otherwise there's nothing to futures. It is just like trading stock. There's absolutely nothing to it. Either you decide to buy or you decide to sell, and that's it. If it goes in your favor, you make money. If it goes against, you don't make money. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no adjustments. There's no, you know, techniques, and that's not chess. That's checkers. So stocks and futures are all checkers. Here we are talking about chess. Options on futures is a different beast. Yeah, that I will probably make a max system. Yeah, absolutely. Good question. Options on futures is very cool, actually. Okay. All right, guys. So if you still have any questions, just you know, put it up. But basically, just to recap, by 9/29, you're going to get a whole bunch of freebies. Trader Max already has one max system in it. So when I say Trader Max plus one, you're actually going to get two over there. Okay. So PayPal email is hswamy@gmail.com. Well, you don't need to mention, as long as you do it by 9/29. You know, this freebies will be applicable. Just send a memo, because I will send it to my virtual assistant also. She'll get the email and she'll set you up with all the access probably within 24 hours. Yes. Okay. Any other questions, folks? I know it's Sunday evening and we have a major debate coming up, so I'm sure everybody's there. And thank you for coming, and apologies for dealing with all these technical issues on GoToWebinar. Hopefully they will make a quick fix to some of these problems. All right, folks, have a great evening. Let's watch the debate. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. So I will speak to you tomorrow. If you have any questions, just send me an email. info@optiontiger.com works very well. That goes to my assistant Carol also. So info@optiontiger.com is the best way to reach us. Any questions, just send us an email and we'll take it from there. Okay, great. Thank you everybody, and we'll speak to you soon. All right, and I'm going to be I've already recorded this, so I'll put it up on YouTube, and we'll send out the link as well. Yeah, thanks. Bye.